The Philadelphia Eagles just got some amazing news following their public training camp practice at the Linc, as they got an unexpected but extremely positive update on Landon Dickerson's knee injury after he was carted off the field, as it seems like he's going to return a lot sooner than we initially thought. Meanwhile, several guys made a statement during the Eagles' public practice, including a breakout candidate on Philly's defensive line, an extremely promising rookie at linebacker, a bona fide star in the secondary, and the Birds' newest cornerback, as it very much seems like he is going to be in the mix to win the starting job. And so does Eagles rookie safety Andrew Mukuba after some news we just got in the Birds' most recent practice. So let's talk about that and all the most exciting plays and performances from the Eagles' last two practices starting right now. Alright, so as I said, Sunday marked a very important and exciting day of Philadelphia Eagles training camp as the Birds held their annual public training camp practice at the Linc in support of the Eagles Autism Foundation, and as expected, the Philly fans showed up for this one, as the entire stadium was packed out. I mean, it was apparently a sold-out crowd of around 60,000 fans, which, for this just being simply a practice, that's absolutely insane and unheard of, but hey, that's why Eagles fans are the best in the world, and again, it's really no surprise that they showed out for this one. And they were treated to what was for the most part a really awesome night. Now, there was one real downer moment, which trust me, we're going to dive into that in a bit, but other than that, again, it was a really fun and exciting night. Starting at around 6 o'clock, the guys started to take the field, those including the exciting Whites and Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship, Quinyon Mitchell, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata on the offensive line, DeVonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Carter, and Jaylen Herz, who arrived to a loud ovation and MVP chants from the crowd. Now, also arriving with those guys was A.J. Brown, which was a very positive development considering that A.J. had missed every single practice since Friday, August 1st with a hamstring injury, so his return was definitely very good news. Now, he wasn't doing team drills, but that'll come very soon. So again, overall, it's great news. Unfortunately, though, while obviously, again, that was a very positive injury update, we also, of course, did get some pretty bad injury news as well. As towards the end of practice, star guard Landon Dickerson went down with some sort of leg injury, and after being looked at by trainers and checked on by teammates, Landon was helped to his feet, and he very slowly made his way off the field, barely putting any weight whatsoever on that injured right leg. And he did end up taking the cart inside. Now, obviously, that was extremely scary when it happened, especially since we didn't really have any real information on the injury or what exactly happened or how serious it was. Now, we did get video of the injury, but it's really hard to see exactly what happened. And obviously, again, whenever somebody gets carted off the field, no matter, how serious it looks, that is always scary. But luckily, he was able to walk off the field. He was also sitting in the passenger side of the cart with his knee bent rather than laying down in the back, which was a good sign. And then on Monday, we got an update that surely has all Eagles fans breathing a sigh of relief. As while unfortunately, an MRI revealed that Dickerson did suffer an injury to the meniscus in his right knee, which if you don't know, depending on the severity, that could have possibly caused him to miss the entire season, but luckily, Adam Schefter later reported that Dickerson was set to undergo what the team is describing as only a minor procedure, and he'll be listed as just week to week, and could return as early as week 1 for the game against the Cowboys. And obviously, as far as meniscus injuries go, I guess that's the best case scenario, so obviously that is amazing news. I mean, it's definitely good that Dickerson isn't going to have to miss a lot of time. Now, I will say, I'm curious to know exactly what the procedure is and whether Landon is going to be able to be at 100% at any point this year. Now, my initial guess to that would be probably not. He's probably going to be fighting the injury the whole season. And I also am a little bit worried about the risks of him possibly re-injuring it by coming back too soon. But at the end of the day, I really don't know anything. I mean, I'm just a fan like the rest of you guys, and I'm going to trust the Eagles medical team that they're making the right decision here for Landon's long-term health. And again, I'm definitely thrilled that Landon's injury isn't going to keep him out for too long. Now, aside from Landon's injury, like I said, the rest of practice was really very exciting, from exciting plays to standout performances from multiple guys. So let's start off with the Birds' most hyped-up rookie and linebacker Jihaad Campbell. As I'd say, he was one of the clear standouts from Sunday's public practice, as he put his exciting talent and ability on display multiple times. And that included one instance where he beat Saquon Barkley on a blitz and got to Jalen Hurts for the sack. He also had another sack at one point, which is definitely exciting to hear. I mean, it's pretty clear at this point that Campbell does have that ability to be used as a blitzer from the inside linebacker position and be effective doing it, so that's good to see. And then, in my opinion, his most exciting play came on a run by Saquon Barkley. As you can see here in this video, that Campbell just completely tossed center Cam Jurgens to the side before then wrapping up Barkley and stopping him for a short gain. And this is obviously an extremely impressive play. I mean, for him to just throw Cam Jurgens like that is crazy, and again, it's just one of many instances where Campbell has flashed some insane potential this offseason. So, personally, I'm just so fired up about Campbell and can't wait to see what he can do this season and what he turns into. I mean, I honestly still have no idea how the NFL let him fall to the Eagles, but they better watch out now, because I think he's going to be a problem for many years to come. However, he's not the only young, promising linebacker that the Eagles have, as a few more of those guys also made plays on Sunday as well. And that includes the second-year man, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., as at one point he also beat Saquon Barkley to get a sack on Jalen Hurts, and also the rookie Smile Munnon Jr. got a sack as well. So overall, it was a really good day for the Eagles linebackers, but they're not the only guys on defense who stood out. And actually, one of the biggest stars throughout all of Eagles training camp made his presence felt once again, that being defensive tackle Moro Ojomo, as once again he made multiple plays during practice, including getting a sack alongside Nolan Smith, and he also batted down a Jalen Hurts pass at the line of scrimmage. And honestly, seeing Ojomo have a performance like this in practice is really no surprise, just considering that this is what he has done all training camp long. I mean, it seems like he has at least one sack or one big play every single day, and he just continues to flash insane amounts of potential.
You know, he's one of those, I would say, kind of slept-on guys. I think every practice that we've had, his name has been brought up in our defensive meeting room, of how like aggressive and how he just goes to work every day. You know, obviously I don't get to see a lot of it with my perspective, you know, when we're playing, but you know, when I go watch film, it's like he's standing out on every pass rush rep, like he's beating blocks here. It's just, it's crazy. And I kind of knew that he was going to be that type of player just by his personality in the weight room and just how he carries himself. But man, I'm super excited to watch him work.
Effort and energy, but from a measurable standpoint, length, violence in his hands, his awareness as a football player to recognize blocking schemes, to communicate protections, where the games are. He's at the point now where he can come to the sideline and be able to tell me, hey, coach, you're sitting on this. What about this? You know, he's starting to turn into a coach on the field with his level of intelligence. So to see that, and then his confidence level, because he knows he can do those things and he's right when we have those discussions, it's impressive to see him do that now.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Moro Ojomo is set up to have a true breakout year this season. I mean, he's clearly grown a lot from where he was even last year. I mean, everything he's done in practice throughout camp clearly supports that. And judging by what we heard from defensive line coach Clint Hurt, he clearly has the trust and the confidence of the coaching staff as well, as they view him as an every down player and an integral part of this defensive line.
Personally, the question is he ready to be a rundown guy?
Yeah, he's an every down player. We don't see him as a role guy.
Again, I think Moro Ojomo is going to have a huge breakout year, and I truly am just so excited to see exactly how he's able to take advantage of this bigger opportunity that's being presented to him, just given that he's going to be an every down player like Clint Hurt said. So again, super excited for that. Moving on though, in addition to Ojomo, one of the other biggest stars of Eagles camp had a standout day as well, that being cornerback Quinyon Mitchell. As with A.J. Brown still not doing team drills, Q matched up with DeVonta Smith for most of the night, and apparently, he was locking him down pretty consistently, and that included getting 2 pass breakups on throws in his direction. Which honestly, that's just crazy because I personally have never once seen DeVonta Smith get locked down as consistently as that, so the fact that Q was giving him that much trouble just shows you how good he really is and how hard he's been working. So, you know, you definitely got to be excited about that. And again, I just cannot wait to see what Q does this season. But circling back to Smitty though, he wasn't completely quiet during public practice, as he actually might have been part of the most exciting play of the day, that being a 25-yard touchdown pass in which Smitty got slightly behind Cooper DeJean. And while he still had really good coverage on Smitty, Jaylen Herz made an absolutely beautiful, perfect pass down the right sideline. And of course, DeVonta Smith hauled it in for the score. And obviously, like, just watching it, that is an amazing throw from Jalen Hurts. So you love to see that. and overall, he had a pretty good day, going 15 for 23 on his throws with a touchdown and no interceptions. And then moving on, we also got some more huge news in the secondary, as for the first time, the new addition at cornerback in Jacorian Bennett got first team reps at corner, and it happened in just his second practice with the team. So, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I talked extensively about it in my last video. But yeah, that is a clear sign there that Bennett is firmly entrenched in the battle for the starting cornerback job opposite Quinyon Mitchell, which is awesome to see. And then also, I do want to real quick spotlight safety Sidney Brown, as he had a nice pass breakup on a pass to Dallas Goedert in practice, which was good to hear. And Goddard himself seems to think that Sid has gotten a lot better from where he was the past couple seasons.
Sidney, it seems like he's been picking things up. One thing about him, he always flies around. He's always making his way to the ball, and that's what you like to see from a guy playing safety, flying downhill. His speed's something that always stands out, just the way he attacks it.
Personally, I love hearing that because, right now, it looks like we are headed in the direction of Sidney Brown being the starting safety, and I know there's obviously mixed opinions on that, but at the very least, it is definitely good to hear that he has been making plays and getting better as camp has gone on. Moving on though, the Birds had an off day on Monday before getting back out on the practice field on Tuesday, and there is quite a bit of news to talk about there as well. Now, I actually recorded the rest of this video on Monday, now I'm recording this part on Tuesday, and the first bit of news we got this morning is that in addition to Landon Dickerson, backup guard Kenyon Green is also now considered week to week, as he is dealing with a shoulder injury that he suffered in the preseason game against the Bengals, and he actually got carted off the field for. So that automatically kind of takes him out of the running to fill in for Dickerson in the time that he misses, and I'd also definitely say it affects his chances of making the roster as well. Meanwhile, at practice on Tuesday, it was actually Brett Toth first up at left guard with both Landon Dickerson and Kenyon Green out, so that's definitely very noteworthy, obviously, as it's a clear indicator that if Landon Dickerson isn't ready for week 1, then Toth could be that guy to fill in for him as the starter, which, if that's the case, it is kind of hard to gauge how he's going to do or if that's the right decision, just considering that he's hardly played during his NFL career so far. Now, obviously, week 1 is a long ways off, so we don't know what's going to happen, but again, early signs do point to Toth being that guy, but again, we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. And we also still have a long way to go before we find out who's going to be the starting safety this season next to Reed Blankenship. Speaking of which, we actually just got a big update on that front on Tuesday, as for the first time since the first week of training camp back before his injury, Eagles rookie Andrew Mukuba got first team reps at safety, and he actually started at that spot to begin practice over Sidney Brown, which is very noteworthy. As despite the fact that Sid is probably still the favorite, obviously having gotten pretty much all the first team reps throughout camp so far, it shows that Makuba is still very much in the race to win that job now that he's back and healthy. So again, obviously that's very, very noteworthy, and it's also noteworthy that in addition to starting at safety, Makuba also got some reps as an extra defensive back in dime looks, while Sid then inserted back at safety. So I think it's pretty clear based on that the Birds really do like Makuba, they like his versatility, and even if he doesn't end up winning the starting safety job, my guess is that they're probably going to still try and find him some sort of role on defense this season, even if it's very limited. Moving on though, Tuesday was a very short practice for the guys, intentionally so, as they're of course gearing up for 2 very hard days of work with these upcoming joint practices against the Cleveland Browns, but that short practice was still a good one, especially for Jalen Hurts, who went 8 for 8 on his throws with no touchdowns and no interceptions. And among those throws was a nice completion to Dallas Goedert with pressure in his face from Jalen Carter, a nice anticipation throw to Jihaad Campbell, and 4 connections with DeVonta Smith throughout the session. So again, it was a good day for Hurts, but the real test starts tomorrow against the Cleveland Browns defense, and it's going to be really interesting to see just how the entire team performs going up against some new competition. And you guys know that I'm going to be continuing to cover that situation just as well as all the other news that comes out of Eagles training camp over this next month or so. And obviously this week is huge. They got a couple of joint practices with the Browns coming up. So if you guys don't want to miss any of my coverage on that, then make sure you subscribe and you turn on notifications. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support because it really does help me out a ton. See if we can get to at least 500 likes on today's video. And also, leave a comment down below. What are your takeaways from the Eagles public practice? What's your reaction to the news on Landon Dickerson's injury? Again, just give me all your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, if you want another Eagles video going over some more news from training camp, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.